Mitrom and Bandhuvo, welcome to South Asia Maps. This is the education channel where your presenter Dr. J. Reddy will bring you the Indology centric topics, history, geography and culture for you in the form of maps, icons and images. Because I have researched varied topics, I will also be posting at my YouTube channel other relevant presentations which are of generic interest to many audience. One such playlist is Human Ecology. This is the part 37 postings as a part of human ecology, human predicament. That is, human impasse, a difficult situation. The concepts are essentially taken from the work of Dr. Cotton, his pioneering book, Overshoot and BottleNeck. Excuse me. And this is the bird's eye view of the present topic will be the Liebig's law of minimum. That is the part 37, Liebig's law of minimum. That is the bottleneck, that is the limiting factor, rate determining step or factor. The Liebig's law I will be posting in 3 separate presentations. The law is part 37. In the next part 38, I will be talking about Liebig's law. LL with reference to carrying capacity CCP. In 39, the third part, I will be talking about the Liebig's law of minimum LLM as a part of scope enlargement, scope contraction, that is scope adjustment of carrying capacity. That is the law itself. Second, law plus CCP, carrying capacity. The third part will be the law plus CCP adjustments, expansion, contraction. And this is the part. So far when I opened this channel, so I posted first 5, then the 10, 15, the 20 presentations, 25, 30. Last 5 presentations, 6 presentations, I talked about adaptations of humanity, that is the industrial civilization, the humans residing, to the post-exuberant era, that is realism, cargoism, cosmetism, cynicism, ostracism, and all I have reviewed them at one place, that is the 35 here, 36, this is 37, Liebig's law of minimum. Before that, so I have put all this, so I will be posting in the beginning at least a 50, so very soon you will see them in the YouTube channel, carrying capacity, taking over, drawing down, new world, that is the next ecological exuberance and emotional exuberance, detritus ecosystems, and ecological acreages, that is essentially fossil acreage and trade acreage and fuel acreage, fish acreage and so on, carrying capacity and phantom carrying capacity, various ecological niches and economic niches and social niches. What is the human predicament? Low pressure regions like Siberia, Alaska, Australia that doesn't have much carrying capacity. Lincoln to Biden, the population of United States from 35 million to nearly 330 or 350 million people. Years of exuberance, the prosperity affluence of 5 centuries. Population doublings 10 times from agriculture starting to 2025, around about 10,000 years. Then the last 4 doublings, what is the American dream, the prosperity and affluence, non-competitive lifestyles, its flowovers, subalterns like Canadian dream and Australian dream, how they founded on the lack of carrying capacity. And there are 6 continents on the planet Earth, and and 8 billion humans live, 8,000 million. How to remember the continental population? So there is a 20 and ecological overshoot, bloom and crash, and so many other presentations I posted. You can go and look at them in leisure. So this is the most important concepts essentially come from Dr. William Cotton Jr.'s book Overshoot, the professor emeritus at Washington University, State University, Pullman, Northwestern Pacific region, that is east of Cascade Mountains, that is close, excuse me, in the United States of America. And if you are not aware, you can go to subscribe my YouTube channel, South Asia Maps J. Reddy. These are the playlists. I organized all my presentations. There are around about 260 right now. That is 2022 August. And all I put them, bind them in the playlist around about 30 or so that whatever the topic is your interest, you can go and look at them, particular playlist. This is human ecology. I will put in the human ecology playlist or bin. So other playlists like agriculture, human population, Jannat visas, that is the Aurangzeb and how he executed his close relatives, and cis-trans districts and so on, the Maharashtra and Islam, the militant conversion-based ideology, Assam and Northeast, the ceded district of Rayalaseema in Andhra Pradesh, Deccan Peninsula, Bengal region, and Pakistan, and the Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, the treaties of India, and Vijayanagara Empire, the railway history, most of the districts of India, districts of our alienated brothers, alienated by Islam from us, the districts of Pakistan, Bangladesh. So there are varied playlists. You can go and look at the Madras presidency and so on. This is the channel, the same I am looking at the videos. There are nearly 250 plus videos are present and meticulously made for your intellectual sojourn, and that will bring you a deeper understanding of the culture and heritage of South Asian region, as well as the general topics such as world geography and human ecology and population and so on. And this is my Twitter site, India Maps too. You can also find me there too. Liebig's law of minimum. This is the most important law. Liebig's law of minimum, part 37 of human ecology, also called law of minimum, or bottleneck, or limiting factor, or constricting factor, rate limiting factor, rate determining factor, rate determining step. The most of the modern social, political, economic events that you think are actually limited by this law. Such an important law, and we'll be discussing that law in 3 parts today. Liebig's law of minimum. Before we talk about the Liebig's law of minimum, originally this law of minimum was formulated by agricultural chemist in Germany called Karl Sprengel, and later Liebig has modified it, but mostly this is given credit to Justus von Liebig. Justus von Liebig died around about 1870 or so. He was the professor or a prominent inventor, father of agricultural chemistry or fertilizer industry, Justus von Liebig, and he was at the University of Gießen, that is in the province called Hesse, that is north of Bavaria, adjoining to the Rhine River, close to. The closest city is Frankfurt in the western part of Germany, or former West Germany. That is Liebig's law of minimum we'll be discussing about. I will just tell about what the law says. In 1863, it was formulated by German agricultural chemist. That means he was an agricultural chemist or botanist or plant scientist who working on the growth of the plants. The plants use a lot of nutrients, like nitrogen, phosphorus, potash. If all these nutrients are in abundant, that will not determine the yield. The yield of the crop will be determined by the least scarce resource. Increased amount of plentiful nutrients does not increase the plant growth. It states that the growth is dictated by not the total resource, but the scarcest resource, that is the limiting factor. So the latter, some people came out with a barrel named at Liebig's barrel. This is the barrel made with staves, independent. Stave is nothing but a wooden plank where you assemble together. Assume they are tightly assembled, there is no leak. The amount of water you can pour in this barrel made of staves. This explains the volume of the water will be determined the shortest stave. Let's say this is one stave, here is a water, this is the carbon dioxide, this is the phosphorus, this is sulfur, nitrogen, and so on. If there is a stress, this is the smallest or lowest stave, that will be the yield. Suppose if you increase that, then the rate limiting factor will be something like sulfur. Suppose if you take the nitrogen and make this stave like this, the yield will be determined again, the amount of volume, the shortest stave. That's how we explain the Liebig's law. The Liebig's barrel with a lot of staves used to explain the Liebig's law, just as the capacity of the barrel with a large number of staves of unequal length. These staves or wooden planks are of unequal length. And the yield or the amount of the volume, here imagine water, will be determined by the shortest stave. This is the shortest wood plank or wooden plank. That is the law of minimum, or Liebig's the law of minimum. So here, because Liebig is von Liebig, is an agricultural chemist or a botanist, so this is the original law, the paper we have taken from him. The growth of the plant here, the crop yield, will be like determined by the shortest stave here, that is the original Liebig's law. So in future we'll be talking about the Liebig's law, such an important law, how the Liebig's law will be determining the carrying capacity limits of a particular region or a province or a state or even the entire planet, a geographical area or habitat. Most of the events of the modern time can be understood from this most important law. So always remember, that is the Liebig's law, or law of minimum, LLM, or bottleneck law, or limiting factor, or rate limiting step, or rate determining step. So this is about, in brief introduction, a part 37 of Liebig's law of minimum. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy, and please, if you like the presentations, and I really appreciate if you go to the main YouTube channel and post your comments, especially Mitrom and Bandhuvam. If you are listening me at share chat site, I really appreciate if you take the time and post your comments or anything you want to say about these presentations, or you want to listen or modulate it to your requirement. Thank you. See you later. Dr. J. Reddy at South Asia Maps Education Channel.